Hi everyone, Gabriel here from the PR office. I'm just recording this to quickly share some of the team and my thoughts on today's King's speech, which was an historic one for a couple of obvious reasons. The first one that was given by King Charles since his coronation, and the first one that is focused on the legislative agenda of Rishi Sunak's government. A big priority was on crime, and this was expected following briefings to the media. It's emerging as a new dividing line between the government and the opposition benches. Interestingly, though, they did not mention specifically what has been the big media angle and a big concern for a lot of people recently around this, which is the results and the impact of the pro-Palestine protests in London mainly, but across the UK. So that wasn't mentioned explicitly, but implicitly it fed into the decision to focus on crime. In terms of business policy, obviously a lot of specific financial points will be kept for the Chancellor's autumn statements in a few weeks' time. But, Sunak was clear to reiterate his pledge to cut inflation, and inflation is slowly going down, so it's a somewhat less negative point for him than some others. The most controversial bits probably around energy. The government's pushing ahead with its plans to grant new oil and gas licenses in the North Sea, which is something obviously a lot of politicians on both sides, but especially in the opposition, are railing against. Sunak is trying to counter this by still saying that decarbonisation is a big priority for the government, but that they take a more long-term approach to this policy area. There's also a bit on housing. King mentioned the forthcoming leasehold and freehold bill that aims to make it easier and cheaper for leaseholders to purchase their properties. Other interesting areas for a lot of our clients include introduced regulations for driverless cars, trying to get sort of ahead of a massive explosion in adoption of them in the future, and also one of the main policies that were announced at the Tory Party conference earlier this autumn around trying to crack down on smoking, especially among young people. So there was sort of, as there usually is, a hodgepodge, but a few things emerging as clear dividing lines, or at least that's what the government want, and that's around crime, that's around energy in particular. So those are the main points. I think in general, there isn't any sort of immediate massive criticism against any of it. It seems quite safe, quite predictable, which I think is what the government wants.